man, that was a close one after being up by as much as 13 points in the second half. The Indiana Fever find themselves in a dogfight late in Seattle, and we held on to win 5 straight W's for the Indiana Fever, 78-74. Man, that was a struggle, but this...
Sophie Cunningham just turned into Steph Curry with a southern twang, while Aaliyah Boston basically said, "Fourth quarter? My time now?" The Fever are out here cooking like your grandma on Sunday, and guess what? They're serving wins. 3 in a row, baby. Is this a Fever dynasty loading, or did someone spike their Gatorade? Stick around, because this game had more plot twists than a reality show reunion and enough heat to make your AC quit. Let's get into it.
Well, my God, the Fever did everything possible to blow a game, but still come out with the win. That was a near epic level collapse, folks. Wow, it should have never gotten that close. Lexi Hull, Stephanie White waited till the very, very last minute to put Stephanie Hull in on defense. She should have been in there from 2 minutes in, 2.5 minutes in on defense.
Sophie Cunningham wasn't just hooping. She was on a personal mission to remind everyone why the WNBA even has a highlight reel. She had that rare "I got this" energy that makes opponents question their life choices and coaches start rewriting their rotation charts in real time. Offense? Locked. Defense? Tighter than airport security. She was diving for loose balls, draining shots like rent was due, and basically turning the hardwood into her personal stage play called How to Be That Girl.
We needed big games from a few key players, and we got big games from Sophie Cunningham, a big game from Natasha Howard, and Ari McDonald. It was very noticeable how this team performed tonight with Ari McDonald in the game and with Ari McDonald on the bench. Ari McDonald was a key component to the Fever's victory tonight. Let's get right into it. Natasha Howard, big game from Natasha Howard. 21 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 10 of 12 from the field. Natasha Howard, she put in work offensively, she put in work defensively.
And it wasn't just the buckets. It was the attitude, the swag, the no-nonsense, grab the game by the neck and shake it vibe. Sophie wasn't playing. She was performing. She was the glue, the spark, and the caffeine injection this Fever squad didn't know they needed, but now can't live without. Forget heart and soul. Cunningham was the actual circulatory system. Every time Indiana looked like they were slowing down, boom, there she was, yelling, hustling, and making sure nobody on that court forgot who the emotional engine was.
So what it is about certain parts of these games, certain halves of these games, it's like they didn't want Sophie Cunningham to touch the ball at all in the second half. And she finished with 17 points, 5 of 6 shooting, 4 of 5 from three-point range. And in case you're wondering, she's the only Indiana Fever player that hit a three-pointer this evening.
Meanwhile, in the fourth quarter, something strange happened. Something that makes your brain go, huh? Something only a coach could dream up after a long night of overthinking and watching too many chess documentaries. Sophie had the hot hand, and what did we get? A 5-minute Cunningham intermission like it was halftime at a Broadway show. Who needs momentum when you can just bench it?
They sure do know how to stress a brother out. The Indiana Fever just almost pushed me to a heart attack. I mean, jeez. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. My goodness, man. Woo. I got to keep my towel on. My neck is wet. My neck is wet, guys. I'm sorry. They made me sweat. The Indiana Fever nearly blow a 12-point fourth quarter lead. We allow the Seattle Storm to go on an 11-0 run in the fourth quarter. Stephanie White, I keep telling y'all, I don't trust her.
Seriously, pulling Sophie during crunch time was like turning off your Wi-Fi in the middle of a live stream, like biting into a sandwich and throwing away the best part. It was one of those decisions that you try to justify but ends up sounding like a Mad Lib gone wrong. Let's be clear, this wasn't just any 5-minute break. This was primetime Fever drama, the fourth quarter, the moment when leaders step up. Q and the leader was hydrating on the bench like a side character. Let's call it what it was: basketball blasphemy. Sophie was radiating energy like a solar panel in the Sahara, and suddenly, darkness. It's not even about points anymore. It's about presence. Cunningham's on-court presence is a stabilizer, a spiritual aura, the kind of vibe that makes her teammates run harder, defend smarter, and fist bump more aggressively. Taking her out was like yanking the all cord during your favorite song.
All right, man. So can we just talk about the elephant in the room, man? When we have hot hands, we have to go to the hot hands, okay? It just does not make sense to keep giving somebody who is cold the ball, especially in clutch moments. What are we doing? Stephanie White, what are we doing? My bad, y'all. I know this probably bothered y'all. What are we doing, Stephanie White? Let me close this out, y'all, really quick. Okay, there we go. You have to refer to your hot hands, man. Come on now. You had Kelsey Mitchell take. I feel like it was like 3 or 4 shots that she took in the clutch moments where they were coming back and the turnovers was happening.
Yet somehow, through the chaos, the Fever still held it together. Maybe it was the sheer residual energy Sophie left smeared on the court like glitter. Or maybe it was Aaliyah Boston finally waking up in the fourth quarter and deciding to play like she got personally offended by the scoreboard. Boston didn't just show up, she exploded. Rebounds, putbacks, intimidation, footwork that looked like it belonged in a dance battle. She pulled that veteran card out and slapped it on the table. She talks, she defends, she encourages, she scrambles. She's that player who makes eye contact in a huddle, and you just know she's not letting anyone fold today. What makes it even funnier, or tragic depending on your sense of humor, is how obvious this all was. The fans knew it. The commentators knew it. The popcorn vendors probably felt it. Sophie was cooking.
Indiana Fever survived the Seattle Storm. This was a hell of a game, and I have to be honest with y'all. I got to be completely honest with y'all. The Indiana Fever, hey, a win's a win. I'm not mad. We won. I'll take a win. But boy, are we lucky that this Seattle Storm team is borderline. They're borderline terrible offensively. This team, they play so slow. They can't score in bunches. I don't even know how they went on an 11-0 run. Well, I know how they went on a run. My point is, they don't score quickly enough, easy enough to even go on major scoring swings like that. That's not how they play. They are a slow, methodical team, and they missed. Skylar Diggins missed 2 wide open threes. Erica Wheeler missed a wide open 3 in the corner.
And instead of letting the chef finish the meal, the kitchen closed for 5 minutes. For what? A strategic timeout? Load management? Divine intervention? We may never know. Let's not forget the intangibles. Sophie's leadership doesn't come with flashy quotes or rehearsed slogans. It's raw. She pumps her fists. She yells for switches. She celebrates her teammates' success like she just hit the shot herself. That's the kind of unity money can't buy. And when you have a squad full of young, hungry talent like the Fever, someone like Cunningham becomes the blueprint, the rally point, the compass. She doesn't just lead, she binds. And let's be real, there are role models, and then there's Sophie. Not in the polished, corporate-sponsored kind of way. No diva antics. Just hard-nosed, blue-collar basketball served with a side of sass.
Absolutely are like they're now well and truly up there with the best of them. They are looking like they're going to get into that 4-5 matchup no matter what. Like, if you look at the standings, they are 17 and 12. They're like a half a game back on Phoenix Mercury. If the Phoenix Mercury somehow lose tonight, they go ahead of the Phoenix Mercury. They are an entire game ahead of the Seattle Storm, and they have the tiebreak over the Storm. If they win one of the last two against Phoenix Mercury, they have the tiebreak over the Mercury.
So, yeah, Cunningham is that girl. The kind that gets underestimated by box scores and over-delivers in ways no metric can measure. She may not always lead in points, but she leads in everything else that matters. Effort, communication, confidence, chaos control. And yes, occasional trash talk sprinkled with Midwestern charm. By the end of the game, the Fever weren't just a team. They were a unit. A team that had just extended their win streak and was finally giving their fans something to shout about. And behind all that noise, Sophie. Whether she was on the court or on the bench, she was orchestrating the vibe like a conductor with a vengeance. If anyone's wondering what lit the fire under this team's recent success, don't overthink it. It's not just plays or analytics or fancy rotations. It's a little something called culture. And that culture wears a headband, scrambles for steals, and celebrates other people's buckets louder than her own. That's Sophie. The pulse, the voice, let the game breathe with her energy. Because when she's out there, it's not just basketball, it's electric. And really, the rest of the league better start paying attention.
We have a lot to discuss in this one. One thing being that the Indiana Fever has picked up their 5th consecutive straight win. This is their best record in over 10 years, and they have a chance to become second place in WNBA rankings. Yes, so all of the people that said that the Indiana Fever was out of contentions to winning the WNBA championships, I'm here to tell you, they are looking silly today.
Because if Sophie Cunningham is the soul of this Fever team, and Boston is the anchor, and Clark is the spark, then Indiana's not just building momentum, they're building a whole movement. One clap, one dive, one Cunningham possession at a time. Guess the plan was to cool her down, which is rich considering Sophie Cunningham was already red hot and melting faces off like a microwave burrito. But sure, nothing says momentum management quite like yanking your flamethrower off the court mid-burn. Maybe they thought she needed a break to preserve her sarcasm reserves or recharge her sass battery, but whatever the logic was, and here's the twist. Despite that moment of basketball sabotage disguised as strategy, Sophie didn't pout, didn't flinch, didn't pull a diva move. She got back in the game and kept doing what she's been doing all season, bringing unfiltered chaos wrapped in high IQ basketball. And every possession she's involved in feels like a masterclass in doing the most with just enough flair to make it entertaining.
The odd makers had picked the Indiana Fever to actually lose this game in Seattle. No one thought that they can go to Seattle and get a win on the road. And I'm here to tell you, it got shaky in the fourth quarter.
So I'm happy that we kept our composure, even though Seattle went on an 11-0 run. We've been through situations like that, but at the end of the day, we just stayed together and we talked about it and we moved on to the next play.
I also think it shows the growth that we've had as a team, because early in the season we were just so inconsistent, and if teams were to do that, we would normally lose those games. But it just shows that we're getting closer, we're trusting each other, and I think that's the biggest part, is trusting and knowing that we can win those games even if they go on runs.
Let's be honest, Sophie isn't just playing well. She's playing with purpose, attitude, and the kind of a don't mess with me vibe that instantly raises the ceiling of any team she's on. Her energy has been volcanic since CC's been out. While the league's been busy dissecting Caitlin Clark's minutes, passes, and astrology sign, Sophie's been out here casually turning into the team's heartbeat with zero fuss and 100% fire. And here's where it gets real. I'm becoming a full-blown Sophie Cunningham fan, like build a shrine in my living room level fan. Because this woman is not only balling out, she's doing it while being hilarious, honest, and absolutely unfiltered. Post-game interviews, pure gold, on-court demeanor, comedy with a side of competitive fury. She'll drop a three, talk trash, pick up your teammate, and then roast the ref, all in one possession. And you can't teach that. Every game lately has turned into a Sophie showcase, full court hustle, defensive stops, trash talk, veteran swagger, and facial expressions that deserve their own meme pack. She's the player who will lock you down and then wink at you like, good try, sweetheart. You want her on your side, because if you're on the other bench, you're in for a long, sarcastic, soul-snatching night.
So that is 5 in a row. That is 5 wins in a row for the Indiana Fever. That is something I didn't think we were going to do it. I didn't think we were going to be able to win 5 games in a row. With or without Caitlin Clark, winning 5 games in a row isn't easy. And that's another. Up until last week, the Fever had not beaten a plus 500 team in the regular season since Nalissa Smith and Lexi Hull's rookie season. Since their rookie season.
But the funniest part? She's not just doing all this for show. There's substance behind the sass. When she's on the floor, the Fever are more cohesive. There's structure. There's balance. The defense clicks. The ball movement is cleaner. The tempo feels smoother. It's like her presence gives everyone a mild case of let's stop being chaotic syndrome. She's that one teammate who actually reads the scouting report and brings jokes to practice. And when she speaks her mind, oh, it's chef's kiss. Let's be honest, in a league that often prioritizes marketable perfection and sanitized sound bites, Sophie is the walking, talking curveball. She's the comic relief and the emotional anchor. She's the unfiltered podcast and the grinded-out baller. And she's making it impossible to ignore the fact that the Fever's resurgence is just as much about her gritty leadership as it is about flashy stats. While some players need the spotlight to perform, she thrives in those moments when the game gets messy and physical and intense. The more chaotic the play, the more locked in she gets. She's the rare player who somehow looks more comfortable diving into the stands than shooting wide open jumpers. And yet, she can do both with flair.
Oh my goodness. What are we doing? What are we doing? You had a Sophie Cunningham who was on fire, 17 points, right? 5 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 5 of 6 from the floor and 4 or 5 from the 3. Didn't touch the ball not one more time in that clutch moment. What are we doing? What are we doing? Boston was also on fire. 7 of 11 from the floor, 16 points, 1 block, 3 steals, 2 assists, 12 rebounds with that nasty double, and didn't necessarily put up a shot in those last minutes.
Also, can we talk about how funny she is mid-game? Like, Sophie chirps during live play like she's mic'd up for an HBO special. Whether she's clapping back at refs, getting under her opponent's skin, or hyping up her squad, it's always entertaining. And not in the annoying, look at me way, but in the this is my house and I'm gonna make you laugh while I wreck you kind of way. There's also something incredibly satisfying about watching her gel with the rest of the team. She's not just a lone wolf doing her own thing. She lifts everyone around her. You can see it in the way the Fever celebrate her big plays. There's a trust there, a chemistry, and when she hits a big shot, it's like the whole bench collectively levitates. That's not just leadership, it's belief.